my days! Yes! Get in there, my boy! Get up there, my boy! Yeah, remember that? Get up there, you big stiff dosser. Tyson, me and you, misfits. My debut. I think I can take you. I think I can you up after that. You don't want it with these debut boxers. And all this crossover stuff, we can make some money. Come on, let's have it. They say there is no man born from his mother that could beat Tyson Fury. Well, they're not wrong, because Francis Ngannou wasn't born. He was created in a factory. He's a machine. Remember when John Fury said that? I'm a machine. No, this is the machine. Built to destroy the dictatorship that has reigned over boxing, that has kept boxing from finding out who the baddest man on the planet really is by ducking the hard fights. He took on a debut boxer for an easy payday, and you got made an absolute mug out of, Tyson Fury. You put the phone down on me. I never want to have an interview with you again. I don't want an interview. A bum like you. You can't even beat a guy on day one. Absolute dosser. They call him the Gypsy King. Well, the Gypsy King bent the knee to the African King last night. We were wondering who is the baddest man on the planet. We set this bullshit fight up, which was what I thought it was, because we had an MMA guy who was going to pretend like he couldn't destroy Tyson Fury if he wanted to, in any way he wanted to, in a real fight. But he was going to put these gloves on, abide by the rules, and probably get his head jabbed off by Tyson Fury. But Francis Ngannou did not get that script. And I'm going to tell you exactly fucking why in this video. Now, I'm just going to say from get-go, Francis won that fight. He landed the harder shots. He dropped him. He was the more imposing fighter in that fight, and everyone fucking knows it. But boxing is corrupt as fucking who cares, right? Like, we're used to it at this point. We all know who the real winner was. But for Tyson Fury to have to point at ring rust as a reason... Mate, you've just destroyed your whole fucking legacy in one night, man. Because Francis Ngannou, he didn't have a ring to fucking rust. He's never been in the ring, been in a cage, because he's a caged animal. He's a real dog. And you found that out in there, didn't you, Tyson? You didn't want anything to do with him, running away for the last 2 rounds. Pathetic, actually, that. Pro heavyweight champion boxer against a guy in his first ever fight, and you're on your bike not wanting to go near him. This is just the sweetest one of all this. Like, 37 years old, Francis Ngannou's first ever boxing match. Coming off the back of a huge knee injury, 2 actual knee problems, 18 months out of the cage. So it's actually been longer since he had a fight than Tyson Fury. Trained by Mike Tyson, who's never actually been a boxing coach before, ironically. And he bullied Tyson Fury. I'm gonna say it again, bullied Tyson Fury. All of that chat about Big Tyson thinking he's this big man, looking down on everyone else around him. When you kick people on the way up, we're going to remember when you fall. And that's what today is all about. It's the fucking humbling of the Gypsy King. And it's the sweetest one, man. Because this guy has been such a prick for too long now. And to get embarrassed by a guy who's never had a boxing match before. You're a gypsy clown. You're not a Gypsy King. Tyson Fury, he let down boxing. You're supposed to be this great heavyweight champion. You've compared yourself to Muhammad Ali. Never say that man's name again. You will let down boxing. You've let down the Fury name. Oh, Big John has been calling this man a Greek god for how long? I hope he's all right. Can we get someone to check on John? Get a phone call. Is he okay? I am worried because in the last 2 weeks, his boys have been exposed by guys who apparently don't know how to box. The great Fury legacy in flames. I've been watching At Home with the Furies, and every time Tyson's in a bad mood, Paris gets it in the neck. So let's all pray for her, because her ear will be getting chewed off by the big baby that he is. Big baby. Watch that show. He's an absolute whingy man. The funniest thing about this is, like, MMA fans have had a decade of boxing fans chatting shit about MMA, this, that, and the other. Mate, these MMA boys, they're not to be with. Like, in a real situation, stay away. There's a reason boxers don't go in the cage. And MMA fans have had their fucking last laugh today. Like, they are loving it. And Francis Ngannou has just called into question everything we ever thought about Tyson Fury, the entire legacy. When you look at Fury's legacy, it's really lacking any good fighters. It really is. The 2 that he's fought, that he beat, Klitschko, yeah, he outboxed him, but it was a horrendous fight, and it wasn't like he put a beating on him. And then when it came time for the rematch, didn't want to know, went running. Deontay Wilder, one-trick pony. All right, hell of a one-trick, but he's hardly the best boxer ever. This is what I was talking about the fights with Chisora and Dillian Whyte. We don't get any idea of how good a fighter is by fighting fighters like that, who are beaten before the fight even took place, who aren't even really trying to win the fight. And as I said, Francis did not get the memo. Why? Because we're talking about a man who was born in the hardest of circumstances. As they've told you, worked in the sand mines at 11 years old, smuggled himself over into France, was homeless, had a brutal time, did anything he could just to get a little bit of training in with MMA, found it late in life, in fact. This is not a man who was a born fighter. Imagine Francis Ngannou was in a boxing gym for as long as Tyson Fury. He would have taken his head off and punted it into Rosette. That's not even including the hell that Francis had to go through with Dana White, which I'm going to get onto in another video. Francis is a I'll fight anyone, anytime, anywhere kind of guy. He's not trying to cherry pick fights and invite the hard fights like Fury has done for fucking years. And in that fight, it showed who the real champion was. It's so funny that people thought I was wrong about Usyk beating Tyson Fury when I noticed how sluggish he was against Chisora, against White. But we're going against those two plotters. He wasn't going to get exposed for it, but I fucking seen it. And everyone else gets to see it now. Tyson Fury, if we're being honest, should retire after that shit show. A guy on day one just bullied you. Give it up, mate. He probably can't because he wants all the fucking money. So he's going to go in there and he's going to get his fucking head taken off at some point. It's going to happen now. Unless he changes some major things, but I don't think he's going to. It's too old, too long in the tooth now to do that. The fire has been put out, and Francis Ngannou extinguished it. Tyson Fury didn't even show up to the press conference, mate. How humiliated. And we all know Fury doesn't like the hard questions. Well, put the phone down. Right with that. Well, he doesn't want to even face the media at this point. That's how humiliated he's been. Because when you talk all that shit about how you're going to get Francis out there within a few rounds and you're going to make him look like a table tennis player against Novak Djokovic, and then he beats the shit out of you, you absolute fucking idiot. So let's give Francis his flowers, because I didn't think he could box like that, because we've never seen him box like that before. We've not seen any of this in the UFC. It's been very chaotic, wild, and extreme in there. Extreme violence, might I add. I said this on the stream. When Francis Ngannou brutalizes an opponent, you're like, like, it ain't no fucking boxing clinic. It's brutal. It looks like something you'd see on World Star. But in that ring, he fought like a boxer. A domineering champion boxer. He was the aggressor. He landed the heavier shots. His punching accuracy was really decent for a guy who's in his first fucking fight. He was switch hitting. He was patient and calm. He showed the cool head of a champion. When he was in the clinch with Fury thought, I'll lean on him like I did Wilder. You were fucking 50 to 70 pounds heavier than Wilder. This is a man who's more of a man than you. He's stronger than you. Throw you around like a fucking rag doll. Do whatever he wants with Fury in a real fight. I said it. 3 minutes maximum. And then he dropped him. And when he dropped him, he shook up the world, man. Like, literally, I think Conor McGregor's hair plugs popped out in the first row. It was that much of an unbelievable moment. And it wasn't a fluke. He'd been looking for that counter left hook from the first round. Watch it back. The body shots actually... Credit to Mike Tyson. There's footage of Mike Tyson showing how he set up the jab, then the right hand to the body. And Francis executed it in the ring to perfection. And when Fury did try and hurt him, he ate those punches like sandwiches. You call that a punch? Do you know what I've been dealing with in the UFC? 4-ounce gloves from big monsters who hit way harder than Tyson Fury. Gonna have to take more than that, son. And Fury realized that. And he realized when he was committing to try and hurt Francis was hitting him back. And it was way harder. So what Fury did was start flicking the jab out and got on his bike and ran the fuck away towards the end. He did not want to trade. That was the most timid, scared version of Tyson Fury we've ever seen in a boxing match. Even against Wilder, when Wilder dropped him, what did he do? He went straight ahead and put it on him. Or in other fights, he went in and tried to lean on him and wrestle him. With Francis, he knew he couldn't do either of those things. Stay the fuck away. That's what he did. I'm gonna flick that jab out so I'm connecting with you and racking up points, but I ain't gonna fucking fight you because you'll fucking beat the shit out of me. The beauty of this is if Francis had won by a knockout, which was just like one shot early on, boom, there'd be a reason to go, all right, that was lucky, run it back, that one happened.